Beaufort is a quiet rural town with a colonial feel. Travellers can switch off and get away for a short escape. Today the town is a service centre to the area which produces beef, fat lambs, wool, cereals and timber. Most likely Beaufort was named after the man who invented the Beaufort scale for measuring wind velocity, Rear Admiral Francis Beaufort. Beaufort has a rich and interesting history dating back to the gold rush days. Current population is over 1,500. Beaufort is located on the Western Highway, about 45 minutes beyond Ballarat. Your walking trail will take approximately 1 hour. The weather is generally mild, distance is 1.5 kilometres and the walk is flat. Story trails are best experienced using any mobile device with headsets. They are free to download and to share. We will guide you to each story point. Each story point engages you with images, audio and text. We recommend pausing the video after each story point, exploring, and then press play to proceed to the next story point. Start your story trail by parking at or around the banned Rotunda car park. Your story trail includes Old Public Weighbridge, Mechanics Institute, Old Fire Station, banned Rotunda, First Peoples, Memorial Rose Garden, Art Trax Gallery, Bernard O. Dowd, Vegemite was created here, and the big garage. So, let's take a stroll around this historic precinct. Your first story point is in close view. Haven't you always wanted to know? Weighbridges are used to determine the weight of goods on board transport vehicles. This can be done by weighing or knowing the vehicle cart weight beforehand and after the goods have been loaded, using the difference to define the weight of the goods carried. Built in 1876, the Weighbridge was originally sited where the banned Rotunda now stands. Your next story point is next to the Weighbridge. It is the Beaufort Mechanics Institute. Originally built as a Protestant church, it was initially used for church services. The Catholics and Primitive Methodists were not permitted to use it. Later, when proper churches were built, it was sold to the Mechanics Institute, which used it to house their free library and run their courses. In the past, the Mechanics Institute was known as the most important centre of adult education in its district, but it also was the area's hub for social and cultural activities. Let's visit the old Beaufort Fire Station. It is nearby. The Beaufort Fire Brigade was established in 1874, and this charming building was rebuilt in 1911 and has recently been repainted. The image shows a typical fire engine of the time. Let's take a closer look at the banned Rotunda. You can't miss it. Erected in 1903, the Rotunda commemorates the reign of Queen Victoria. Beaufort was the first town in Victoria to do so. Her reign of 63 years is known as the Victorian era. It was a period of industrial, cultural, political, scientific and military expansion within the British Empire. The octagonal banned Rotunda is crowned by a fine octagonal lantern with iron grille decoration and four-faced clock. Around the Rotunda are several seating areas. Take a seat while you learn about the first people, Indigenous and white, in the area. The area was once occupied by the Djajawarrung Aborigines, who called the area Pirik. They were part of the wider Wadawurrung tribes. No doubt there were clashes with the incursion of white people. Generally, many quickly adapted, working as trackers, shepherds and labourers. Records show that the larger pastoral estates employed many Aboriginals, particularly due to labour shortages caused by the gold rushes. Major Thomas Mitchell and his party were the first Europeans to travel through this region in 1836. European settlement soon began with vast expanses of pastoral land taken up by squatters, bringing with them thousands of livestock, mainly sheep. Red gums in the region became sought after for railway sleepers. Gold rush fever soon followed at Fiery Creek. This led to the development of the township of Beaufort. The population on the fields reportedly reached approximately 10,000 people at its height in the late 1850s. From the Rotunda, walk to your right, east along O'Neill Street, which is the Western Highway, to the traffic lights. Cross over, north, then walk west. Look for the quaint buildings of yesteryear. In about 200 metres, your next story point can't be missed, the Memorial Rose Garden. These exceptionally beautiful gardens include several distinctive features: memorial walls and rosemary for remembrance, lone pine, anchor representing the Australian Navy, rising sun representing the Australian Imperial Forces, propeller representing the Australian Flying Corps and Air Force, pioneer stone, red roses representing the blood of Flanders, yellow roses along the path of peace, pink roses representing the women's service. As you wander through, try to identify each feature. From the Memorial Rose Garden, you can see your next story point. Look north towards the railway station. On the right, east side, is the Trax Gallery. Located in the historic railway station, the Pyrenees Arts Council's Trax Gallery displays artworks by visual artists, sculptors and photographers from within the Pyrenees region and beyond. Browse through the gallery shop selection of handmade art and craft items for purchase. It is open Friday to Monday. Proceed in an easterly direction along the footpath to the corner of Lawrence Street. Let's meet Beaufort's controversial poet. Radical activist, Labor leader and poet Bernard O'Dowd was born at Beaufort in 1866. His attempt to set up a local school failed due to his unpopular, free-thinking, sceptical attitude. He was a founding member of the Victorian Socialist Party. O'Dowd was very much the visible poet, addressing meetings and writing verses for public occasions. We can imagine Beaufort's many hotels offered opportunities for debate and readings. Walk right into Lawrence Street. In about 100 metres you will see the unique design of the Beaufort Post Office and our next story point. Vegemite's story began in 1922 when the Fred Walker Company, which would later become the Kraft Food Company, hired a young chemist, Dr. Cyril Callister, who lived in nearby Chute, to develop a tasty spreadable paste from brewer's yeast. No doubt Cyril had many occasions to use the Beaufort Post Office to bring his invention to reality. In 1954, a toe-tapping jingle named Happy Little Vegemites was played on the radio. Today, over 22 million jars of Vegemite are sold every year. Your next story point is the Big Garage. Continue south along Lawrence Street and cross over to the eastern side of Lawrence Street at the traffic lights. Then cross over the Western Highway at the traffic lights and walk east. Very soon you will see the Big Garage. Beaufort's Big Garage is an opportunity not to be missed. It's a walk down memory lane. You will find a large and varied range of collectibles, antiques including lighting and furniture, china, books, vinyl records, bric-a-brac, white goods, tools, farming equipment, building materials, old motors and much more. So why not drop in and browse? You never know what you might find. Note: not open on Monday or Tuesday. We hope you have enjoyed your Beaufort Story Trail. Feel free to share this story trail with friends. And as always, happy trails. It was often said that Australia rode on the sheep's back for its prosperity. In our cameo, we salute the sheep and wool producers of the Beaufort region with a popular colonial chorus from the times.
Out on the bog, the old shearer stands, grasping his shears in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bed